Good morning, good evening, good afternoon, and good night, stamp pickers, wherever you may be on this planet. And it's a fairly nice day here in North Wales, in the United Kingdom, and I'm going to have a look at a couple of albums which have settled on my knee at the minute. First of all, the Blue Riband stamp album. I think the Blue Riband was the race from possibly the USA to Europe or the UK. So whichever ship holds the record speed, so the least time it takes. You know what I mean. I can't get my words out. Can I ever? So what have we got here? Well, first of all, we open it up and we've got a bit of a map going on, so we see what is occurring, and somebody's been occurring with a pencil by the look of it. I think you have seen this particular album before, but I've been working on it a little bit, adding a few more recently. We do have an identification table, which is always handy if you need to actually see what the writing on the stamp actually means. So Maroc, French Morocco, for example. Nederland is the Netherlands. Ned India is Netherlands Indies. Norge, Norway. You get the idea. Reich, Germany. Reich Post, Germany. Libanese, Lebanon. Albania has a couple there. SHS, Yugoslavia, which I hadn't seen before. Schleswig, Holstein, presumably I'd say First World War. It sounds a bit sort of pre-Germany, don't they? Stothik, Bulgaria, yeah. Tonga. Now, I thought Tonga was a completely separate place, but I may be wrong. TC Posteri, Turkey, which is still today, I think, Turkey. Zuidwest Africa, Southwest Africa. Valles d'Andorre, so I had a couple of Andorra stamps through the other day. Any other interesting stuff? How about this for one that you didn't know? I think we have mentioned it before. Dansk Vestindian, so Danish West Indies. Who knew they had an island? And Del Golfo de Guinea, Spanish Guinea. Eastie, Estonia. Esquelas, Venezuela. Gros Liban, Lebanon. Filipinas, we all know those. Holcar State, where's that? Indora. I don't know either of those anyway. Instrucción, Venezuela. What? That's incredible. So these are the things that you can see on stamps, and at the end of the day, any information is useful information to keep, and we find out what actually they are talking about when they put these things on Marrakesh. What's that? Maracos, Spanish Morocco, and Morocco, German Morocco, and also Morocco is German Morocco. So you've got C's and K's. So it can be a little bit complicated out there. Anyway, we'll have a little look at page 1. Time is moving on. Abyssinia. I suspect that this album is just about pre-war. Abyssinia is now Ethiopia. It's an inland kingdom in northeast Africa. And we have 2 stamps here. Yes. It's in the French language there. Postes Ethiopienne. Was it a French colony? I got a feeling that Italy had something to do with Ethiopia, in particular Abyssinia, pre-war. Didn't Mussolini invade to test out his tanks and that? Maybe. And here we have Haile Selassie. He's highly recognisable. And 30 cents Ethiopia. So those are quite nice stamps. We also have Andorra, which is a miniature republic in the Pyrenees under the joint suzerainty of France and Spain. Interestingly, the president of France is half of the princeness, and is it some mayor? The local mayor in the nearest town to Andorra in Spain is the other half of the principality, if you get me. So the prince, like you'd have the Prince of Wales, well, the Prince of Andorra is made up of the President of France, which is currently Macron, and I believe, correct me if I'm wrong, I could be wrong, a mayor or a local dignitary from the nearest town in Spain. So we'll have a little look. Hommage de General de Gaulle. So this particular stamp is the French version of it. Yes, we see here co-prince d'Andorre. So he would be president of France, so he would be the co-prince of Andorra. Look at that, eh? 1944 to 46 and 1958 to 63. And here we have another French version of a stamp. I had these the other day and I decided to hinge them into the album, give the album some extra beef. We turn over and we go to the Argentine, a South American republic. I'm not quite sure how far we get with this album. A South American republic with an area of 1,112,743 square miles. That's a lot of miles. And the capital is, as we all know, Buenos Aires. So we've got some nice little stamps here. Beautiful scenery. A bit sort of one-dimensional. Nice bit of a cancel there, Argentina on it. Possibly airmail. Don't know. Why would I have Argentina cancel on it? I don't know. Horse and jockey, and here we have characters associated with Argentina, none of whom I know, but there's a few of them. So yeah, we've started Argentina there. Talking of Australia, we have only one, surprisingly. Australia is the self-governing dominion of the British Commonwealth. Area is approximately 3 million square miles. It's the largest island in the world. Its capital is Canberra. British Commonwealth Occupation Forces Japan also are catered for on this page, but I haven't got any of them, so it's only Australia, and I've only got one Australia stamp. Now I've got a lot of Australian stamps, but I haven't really been loading them up. But this came with the album, and it's had a big old bite out of it, and it's a George V, George V. It's one and a half pennies, and yeah. Now, interestingly, on the other side of the page, on the other side of the album, are all the other states: New South Wales, South Australia, Western Australia, Antarctic Territory, Queensland, Victoria, Tasmania, and Christmas Island. Interestingly, we go to Austria. There's nothing there, but here we have a stamp I recently put up, which is from Barbuda, a dependency of Antigua. Now uses the Leeward Island stamps, though I suspect that this has been overturned somewhat because this is quite a modern, Queen Elizabeth stamp. So we've got a big old fish and it's 25 cents. Barbuda. That could actually be a Barbuda. Oh no, it's a great umberjack. Yeah, great umberjack. We carry on. There's nothing Belgian. We go to the next one, which is Brazil. There's an awful lot of stamps in Brazil, the most extensive state of South America, with an area of 3.3 million square miles. Wow. Really? Formed into a republic in 1889, capital Rio de Janeiro. Formed into a republic in 1889, and there's been nothing but trouble since. So what have we got here? Well, we've got people, as you'd expect. Correios de Brasil is the legend. We got cruisy birds here. We have another character here. So these are pretty old stamps that have been through the mill slightly. That's got a nice arrow on it there. I think that's actually an airmail stamp. Or could it be Rio de Janeiro? Where's Rio de Janeiro? Well, it's the capital. I think that's Aero. More characters. I mean, not mint stamps by any means, but I do like Brazilian stamps. They're nice and what you might call, what you may actually call, puttable in these boxables. So they fit nicely. Whereas Canada, I mean, the previous owner's been having a field day with this picture plant there, bit thingy, Majesty the Queen, the old King, George the Sixth, 4 cent and a 1 cent, and here he is again. So there's a nice little collection there of kings. George the Fifth, Christmas stamp, the Queen. I mean, that's in a bad way, isn't it? Is that a... No, I thought it was a map stamp. It isn't. The Queen again. And another of these, in a better condition, Christmas stamps. So they're quite nice. Cayman Islands. Actually, I didn't tell you how big old Canada is. 3.7 square miles. That's a big old country, that is. Self-governing dominion in North America. Capital, Ottawa. Caymans. Do we have any Caymans? No, but we do have Solonians. So self-governing dominion. It is now called Sri Lanka, of course. Island is situated south of India. 2,000 square miles. Capital is Colombo. I think it still is. So here we've got the old king and a nice Colombo council. We have women picking tea. George V stamps, 3 cents, 1 cent, 2 cents, so they're not in order. Those deal with the Solonians. Now these below are the Maldives, a group of islands west of Ceylon. I didn't know that. So now we're a republic. So the Republic of the Maldives, and here we've got astrology, the goat, and here we have fish. So that's quite nice. Okay, and finally we'll have a look at Chile first of all. 290 square miles. Santiago is the capital. It is a republic on the western coast of South America, and I've only got one stamp in this album. And it's President Pinto, by the look of it. Correas de Chile. Yeah, I mean, it's a drawing of him. They didn't take maybe there was a photo of him, I don't know. And finally, China. Capital being Nanking. Is it? Approximate mileage is 4,457,000 square miles. That's a big old place. So here we have overprints. It's got the 2 stars, the communist stars there. It's got the box with a line through it. That tells you it's China. It's got 300 on it. It's a 1949 by the look of it. Underneath we have the China symbol again, and we have like a lady standing there in a, could be an Olympic thing possibly, I don't know, not sure. And then here we've got a third China stamp, which is an impressive building. Can't really tell you what else is going on in that, but when you look at underneath, you've got China, which is, you know, a lot of square miles. You've also got Chinese Turkestan, Manchuria, big old place, Sichuan, Taiwan, which is Formosa. We knew it as Formosa as Europeans, now called Taiwan, is an independent state. Tibet, I think it's still under the protection of China, Tibet. But that's a big old place because it's got a lot of big mountains that reach up into the sky, Everest and all those. And Yunnan. So China is quite a big area, but only 3 stamps that I've got in this book. I say that because we'll just quickly go to, what's this one here? Cuba, the largest of the West Indian islands and the most troublesome. And here we've got Palacio de Comunicaciones, so the, whatever that may be, you know, the communication centre, the post office maybe, or the radio station. It's had a bit of a You know, it's been through the war slightly. But yeah, so we've got managed to get up to C. I was hoping to do both albums, but that has not been possible because I've been rabbiting on. I hope you've enjoyed a quick look at some of my updates, stamp-wise, on the Blue Ribbon stamp album with Map. And I'll talk to you again very, very soon. Goodbye for now.